Good morning from Ososo Kingdom in Akoko-Edo local government, Edo State. I am Oba Bamidele Obaitan, the Olososo of Ososo Akoko-Edo III. The first thing I want to discuss are issues of land cases here in Ososo Kingdom. We've had a rash of cases being brought, a lot of them without any documentation whatsoever. We no longer live in the Stone Ages. During the last administration, a digital Edo GIS was set up in Benin City. I urge everyone who has land or who procures land to make sure they go and file for CFO, that is Certificate of Occupancy. That shows that you're the legal owner of such land. A lot of the cases come in tend to be hearsay. This person says, I bought this land. This one says, my father's land. This is inherited land. But there's no documentation to show proof of ownership of land. We cannot continue this way. We're not living in the Stone Ages. If you're going to purchase land, first of all, make sure you go to the Lands and Surveys office. Make sure the person you are purchasing the land from actually owns that land. And then once you do your transaction, make sure you go to Edo GIS, file for CFO, get it surveyed, get the beacons put in place, and that way you know that you have ownership and the deeds for that land. A lot of these cases are frivolous in nature. Some people like to play games, so I am going to let everybody know that if you're bringing a land case to the traditional council, we will entertain it, but if we find it to be a frivolous case, we will issue a fine, because anybody bringing a land case, number one, come with all your documents. If you don't have documents, then think carefully before you bring that case to the traditional council. We cannot be wasting time and resources on frivolous land cases. Let me touch on security matters here in Ososo Kingdom and by extension throughout Akoko-Edo and Edo State in general. One that I will speak to is the herdsmen farmer clashes going on. What we are prepared to do is use what has been put in place, the Edo Security Network, working in coordination with the police, our army, to make sure we comb the bushes. And I want to thank Governor Monday Okpebolo for his work that he's been doing. The vigilante network has been put back in place. They have come to the palace, and what we'll try to do on the local level here is make sure we support them with whatever resources we have at our discretion. There's no tribalism coming from this palace, but we insist that whoever is in our land must live peacefully amongst us. We too, the indigents of Ososo, also need to make sure we are peaceful with them. However, we cannot have cows in our classrooms. We cannot have cows going onto our farms. Times are tough. I want to make sure that whatever farms we have in place can thrive without cows eating up crops. Recently, I had the head of the Fulani settlements here come to the palace, and I made sure that they understood that cows do not belong in the town limits. There's plenty of bush and grasses out in the forest for them to eat, but we also want to make sure that those that live in amongst us are peaceful, that they allow our sons and daughters of Ososo to have access to their farms and farm without being kidnapped, attacked, raped, or maimed. We will not, and I repeat, we will not allow violence in our community. I just urge the Edo State Security Network to also do their part, coordinating with the police and the army to make sure any terrorist herdsmen are driven out of our land. The DPO here on ground informed me that our governor, Senator Monday Okpebolo, has taken a hard stance against cultism. I applaud this action by our governor. From what I was made to understand, any cultism case immediately gets taken to Benin to be investigated and prosecuted. We currently have a case. This specific case came to my palace. With that being said, any cultism case, I've directed the DPO here in Ososo that any case of cultism must go to Benin City. It's not right for us to settle it here on ground. I too, in supporting our governor, Senator Monday Okpebolo, have taken a hard stance against cultism. Cultists are not welcomed here in Ososo Kingdom. It's not by force you must live here in our community. If you choose to be a cultist, it's time for you to pack your bags and relocate elsewhere. We don't tolerate cultism here in Ososo Kingdom. I recently led a delegation to the BEDC office in Auchi. We have not been getting light here in Ososo. It's been an issue. We had a very good discussion. There are ongoing talks to make sure that we get more lights, that we are debunked. They take us off this estimated billing, and we're looking into getting meters for all residents here in Ososo. It's important, like I told the officials at BEDC, they need to have a sustainable business. I understand that when they provide service that they get paid. So it's up to our citizens here in Ososo to make sure when bills are due that they're paid on time. That will ensure that we have optimum light here in Ososo, because light is also tied into security. Criminality tends to thrive in the dark. We want to make sure that we have as much stable electricity here in Ososo as much as possible. Ososo is a border town. We border with Okene of Kogi states, and this has been ongoing for decades, a border crisis. I am urging the Edo State government. Right now, we have encroachment coming from the Okene side onto Ososo lands. This needs to be addressed, and the proper channels will be followed up, and updates will be made available to our residents and our citizens here in Ososo Kingdom. For the sake of security and peace within all our 5 quarters, any corporation operating here in Ososo, regardless of which quarter, must carry the palace and all our citizens along. No corporation can come into Ososo with the intention of causing communal clashes. That would not be tolerated. We here in Ososo, we welcome investments, and I will be updating our citizens about the incoming investments coming from the United States of America and elsewhere. We do have corporations that are operating here in Ososo, and I will just ask that they operate responsibly and make sure they don't transgress on the rights of our citizens. Too many times our children are going to school hungry. It's very difficult, as we all know, for any student to focus on learning when they're hungry. We now need to initiate a food program for the children that attend our schools. We have plenty of land on the school property. I am going to move forward with an initiative that we start doing some gardening within our school properties. That food can be used to help cater to breakfast and lunch for our students in the school. Olori and I have discussed this initiative, and we'll be going to the schools to see how we can put together agricultural program within the schools, using the land that we have there to start growing food that will help to feed the children that attend our schools. I also want to thank our governor, Senator Monday Okpebolo, for the refurbishing of Ososo Grammar School. We're very appreciative. The last time we had such infrastructure coming this way was under distinguished Senator Adams Oshiomhole. The red roof schools that he did are still standing. He also brought roads to Akoko local government area, and we're very appreciative. I urge our governor to please do the same. Lead by Senator Adams Oshiomhole's example and bring favorable infrastructure to Akoko Edo local government area and specifically Ososo Kingdom. I thank you for what you're doing. I began a program called the Ruku Food Voucher. It's going to be a voucher that will help the most vulnerable within Ososo be able to access 2 meals a day. We registered quite a few residents here, those that cannot even afford food with the way our economy has gone. We had registered almost 5,000 of our sons and daughters of Ososo. The database has been created. Unfortunately, due to the change in the political terrain in the United States of America, we did not get the funding that we had anticipated. We are moving forward. We'll continue to execute that program so that our sons and daughters who are most vulnerable, those who can't get access to nutritious meals, will get 2 nutritious meals every day. You will be updated on that as we move forward. We here at the Palace stand with the people of Ososo, by extension, Akoko Edo, and all of Edo states. We have an obligation, being in leadership, to be transparent and accountable to our citizens. With that, I wish you all a blessed day, a productive week ahead, and I thank you for your time.